All right, people, we finally can talk about these. I've had these for about a week or so, or maybe a little bit more. This is the Dell 14 Premium in both the Platinum and the Graphite. Platinum and Graphite right here. So what do we have here? Not a huge update or a huge upgrade over last year's model. Physically, it's the same. The only difference is you're going to get a new logo on the lid there. And other than that, you get an upgraded CPU. It's now running with the Arrow Lake H, the Core Ultra 7 255H, which is certainly a good CPU for single and multi-core performance. GPU stays the same. It's the RTX 4050. They didn't put a 5000 series here, or 50 series, I should say, like a 5050 or 5060. They didn't put it in here. I suspect for a few reasons, maybe thermals, battery life would be some of those. Maybe it wasn't ready by the time they were getting this. Either way, it's the 4050. It's not fed a lot of power, so it's on the lower end. This is going to be more for creatives to do Lightroom, Photoshop, some video editing in DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro. Gaming you can play, but you'll have to lower some of the settings on this. But definitely doable. If you have to play around with the settings. But keep your expectations in check when it comes to AAA games on the highest settings with the 4050. That being said, we get a gorgeous 14.5-inch OLED display. It's not tandem OLED, but it's OLED. 120 hertz refresh rate, so you've covered there. It's got the great deep blacks, the super vibrant colors, the really high contrast ratio. It's all there. It's also got the zero lattice keyboard. It's got the haptic touchpad. It's got the capacitive function row that some people may or may not like. We'll talk about that in this review, but it's an overall solid laptop with a new name, but not much different from last year. So we'll get into it and more in this review. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and these are the Dell 14 Premium in the Platinum and in the Graphite here for 2025 coming up. Now with the Dell 14 Premium, you get some documentation here, and you also get your power charger here. And this one is 100 watts even, USB Type-C. So pretty compact. So we'll put that to the side there. And then you also get your power cord right here. So there it is. And they also give you here in the box an adapter. I didn't see that on the 16-inch, but we get an adapter here on this one. This one will have the HDMI. It'll have USB-A. And it will have a USB-C connection, so nice to have that. Now, weight-wise, obviously it's got a little bit of heft to it, but it's pretty thin and light considering the fact that it does have a discrete GPU is pretty good. All right, let's get a measurement of the weight with just the unit alone. We're looking at 1.770 kilograms, and that is 3 pounds, 14.4 ounces. Let's put it back into kilograms here. And with the power cord, power charger here, 100 watts, you're looking at 2.093 kilograms, and that is 4 pounds, 9.8 ounces. Add in this little mini hub that has a few extra ports, 4 pounds, 10.6 ounces, and in kilograms, that would be a total travel weight of 2.116 kilograms all in. Not too bad considering this is packing a little punch under the hood and the premium build that this has. All right, let's talk build quality here. And I have the Platinum. I also have the Graphite that we also showed here today. And one of the benefits of this design is this premium glass on the deck here. And I think it's Corning Gorilla Glass. And of course, a haptic touchpad, zero lattice keyboard, and the premium build quality. It is probably the best out there in terms of the design. It's made out of CNC machined aluminum, and the frame is absolutely rock solid. This is some premium stuff here, and obviously can rival that of the MacBook Pro, which is of course top notch. This is head-to-head, toe-to-toe with that. There is no doubt about it. Now, when it comes to the display, this has a 14.5-inch OLED display with a 3.2K resolution. That's 3200 by 2000, a 16:10 aspect ratio, 120 hertz, variable refresh rate. Excellent. It's got the deep blacks, the super vibrant colors, the really high contrast. It's pretty gorgeous. And it's a touchscreen display. When navigating the OS with your finger, pinch to zoom, all worked very well. So having the touch is a big leg up. I love it. And you don't get that obviously on a MacBook Pro. But as far as the display itself, it gets bright enough, although I would like to see a tandem OLED style high, brightness like we saw maybe on something like the Yoga Pro 9i, which is just ridiculous at 1,000 nits. This is not quite there, but it's certainly bright enough for indoor use. Outdoor, you may have some issues. It is a glossy display. You might see a lot of glare and reflection, so just keep that in mind. But indoors, it is absolutely gorgeous. It's an HDR display. Watching high dynamic range content has been great. Using your finger to navigate, like I said, the pinch to zoom, all that worked well. As I mentioned, and it's got all the benefits of an OLED, but of course it does have PWM, which is screen flickering. I know some people are sensitive to that, although not terrible on this one. And it also has potential screen burn-in. If you leave a static image long enough on the screen, you may or may not have it, screen burn-in as a problem, so it's just something to keep in mind. But overall, I would say this is an excellent display to watch movies on, to do creative work on. It is color accurate. It does have excellent coverage of the color gamut. So overall, an excellent display, once again, here used by Dell. Now, to get inside the Dell 14 Premium, it's actually pretty easy. All you need to do is remove the T5 Torx screws, use a guitar pick, spudger, or pry tool to remove the bottom plate, and that's it. You're in. You'll notice the 2 fans for cooling. You'll notice the 70 watt-hour battery. We'll get into the battery life in just a little bit. Now, as far as what's user upgradable, the SSD is user upgradable, and it's an M.2 2280 NVMe. And as you can see from the reads and writes, it is certainly fast enough what you need this laptop to do. The RAM, like most laptops here in 2025, is not upgradable by the user, but as you can see, they're using fast RAM, and I have 32 gigabytes of that RAM in my review unit. Now, the Wi-Fi card is Wi-Fi 7 with a Bluetooth combo, and it is soldered in, so it's not upgradable by the user. And as far as the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth, no issues with either one. Now, when it comes to the ports, on the left are 2 USB Type-C Thunderbolt 4 ports, 1 Thunderbolt 4 port on the right, a headphone jack, and a micro SD card reader. No USB-A, so just keep that in mind, and no HDMI or anything like that. So kind of wish it did have it. But I do like the fact that those Thunderbolt 4 ports are split up, 2 on the left, 1 on the right. That makes it more convenient. That's good. And they're full function, 40 gigabits per second, data, charge, and display out. So all fully functional there. Now, the lid, of course, as you can see here, has the Dell branding. It has a new Dell logo for the difference from last year. And then, of course, the keyboard, right? So the keyboard is the Zero Lattice keyboard that we saw. Same Zero Lattice keyboard as the XPS 14. I like it. I find it very comfortable to type on. It's very sleek looking. It's got a multi-stage backlight that is controlled by ambient light sensor. Now, of course, we also have the capacitive row, as we saw on the XPS 14. Some of you may want a physical function row. This is not for you. Just keep that in mind. So you do have that same capacitive row here. I don't have a problem with it, but if you want a physical function row, take a look at my review of the Dell Pro 14 Premium as an alternative if you want something with a physical keyboard. You also have this glass deck here. I believe it's Corning Gorilla Glass, and it also has a Sensor haptic touchpad, and that worked well. And there's no delineation, of course, but I have no problem. It's intuitive, finding where to use it, scrolling, doing all the gestures. It just comes naturally. So I've had no issue with regards to that. Now, when it comes to performance, not a huge upgrade here. The only difference is going to be in the CPU going from the 155H to the 255H. So we're looking at Arrow Lake H here for 2025. And we're seeing pretty good performance. Single multi-core is what we're seeing from that. And the GPU is the same as last year. It's not on the high end here. It's not a gaming laptop in any stretch here, but you can play some games if you lower the settings. Where I think this shines or really gives you a benefit is something really portable, small footprint to take with you on the go, that you can do video editing in, say, Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve. That's where this can do well. And it's a really portable solution to take with you to do some creative work. Now, having the gorgeous OLED display, 120 hertz, all that is great. But as far as gaming and all that, like I said, just keep your expectations in check. Other than that, the single and multi-core performance of the CPU, certainly adequate here for what you want to do. I have no complaints in that regard, so just keep that in mind. Now, good news when it comes to the thermals. When I ran the TimeSpy stress test, it got a passing score of 99%, meaning it detected get virtually no throttling under heavy load. That's a big plus in my book. And the surface temperatures remain relatively cool, even under load, where you place your fingers on the keyboard, never getting overly hot under load. And the underside stayed relatively cool as well. So that is really, really good. Now, fan noise can reach as high as 48, 49 decibels under load, but when you're in the balance mode doing everyday tasks, you're going to hear the fans kick in every now and then, but not very loud, maybe 35, 36 decibels, 38 decibels. It just depends on what you're doing, but nothing to be too concerned about here. Stayed relatively cool and quiet. That's been the name of the game when it comes to thermals. Now, when it comes to battery, we're looking at a 70 watt hour battery, and it got a little bit over 10 hours on the PC Mark 10 Modern Office test, and it got a little bit over 10 hours on the video playback, which is not bad considering the fact that this has a 3.2K OLED display running at that 120 hertz. Of course, if you lower it down to maybe 60 hertz or a dynamic refresh rate, you'll probably eke out a little bit more battery life. So just keep that in mind. And I ran it at the 200 nits level, so just keep that in mind as well. Now, they do supply you with that 100 watt USB Type-C charger. It's very compact. It doesn't add a lot of weight when you're traveling, so that's been pretty good. Easy to throw in your bag, and it charges pretty quickly. Now, when it comes to the audio, we're looking at quad speakers here, and I thought the sound was very good out of this. Good bass, good mids, volume was good for a 14-inch laptop. Not a bad choice here in terms of the sound that they went with. It also has Dolby Atmos. That's going to help with the spatial audio. Now, you be the judge. You let me know what you think about it. Let's give it a listen and just let me know. Now, when it comes to the webcam, we're looking at a 1080p IR webcam. That means you can log in with face recognition with Windows Hello. I thought the quality was good. I thought the audio from the mics was good. But of course, you let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now, let's give it a look and a listen. So this is the camera on the Dell 14 Premium, 1080p IR. That means you can log in with face recognition with Windows Hello. There is no shutter switch that I'm aware of on this, so that's one little negative there. But it does have the studio effects, the background blur, the auto framing, all that stuff. What do you think about the video quality? And perhaps most importantly, what do you think about the audio quality? Let me know. All right, so with the Dell 14 Premium, I was able to boot up Ubuntu from this USB drive. I did the same thing for the Dell 16 Premium, although there were a couple of things that I wasn't able to get working, the speakers and the camera. But here, the mouse, everything was working on the 16, but on this one, I can't get the touchpad working. So that is pretty interesting on one and not on the other. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. I do have an older version of Ubuntu that I need to sit down and update at some point today. But so far, this is what is working. Keyboard is working. Touchscreen is working. So if I want to go to Firefox, I can do that. And let's open that up. Otherwise, we'll have to use an external mouse here. So the touchscreen is working here. And if I go to my website, amdtechreviews.com, and it's working. So keyboard is working. Everything is working. Let's see if the sound is working. It didn't work on the 16-inch, so I don't think it'll work on this. So it's probably, let me go to the volume here. Let me go to loud. Yes, he says dummy output. So again, I probably, if I install it, we can get this all working if I play around with it. But just so you know, that's what's going on here. Same with the camera. I'm assuming we're not going to be able to see the camera here. Let's get to this and let's see if the camera can work. Again, mouse, I couldn't get the touchpad working. It was working on the 16, see, no camera found. So again, there should be workarounds. So Linux should work on this. Again, let me play around with it some more, but this is the initial look at it through a USB drive. All right, so what do I think about the Dell 14 Premium, the successor to the XPS 14 from last year? And it's more of the same, right? So there's not anything groundbreaking here. There's no new GPU. It's the same GPU, the RTX 4050. It's not fed a lot of wattage to keep the battery life in check and, of course, the thermals in check. But it definitely will give you a boost to do creative work in Photoshop, Lightroom, maybe video editing in DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro. You can definitely do it on this. AAA gaming is going to be a little bit more of a challenge on this, especially if you want to go full settings. You'll have to lower the settings a little bit, play around with it, but you can play some games on this. There's no doubt about it. Ports are going to be the same. Thunderbolt 4 ports here, micro SD card reader, no USB-A or anything like that. The display, 14.5 inches OLED, it's 2.8K resolution, 2880 by 1800, 120 hertz refresh rate. It's absolutely gorgeous. No complaints on there. Could they have gone maybe with a tandem OLED? Perhaps. You know, they did it on the Dell Pro 14 Premium, although that is only 60 hertz, this is 120 hertz, but could have been nice to have a tandem OLED. Maybe next year we'll see that as an option, as that's becoming more adopted as we're going forward. But overall, battery life was pretty decent, as I mentioned, and nice webcam, good sounding speakers here. It's a solid choice for the 14-inch category. Some of the competition obviously is going to be the Razer Blade 14, the Asus ROG Zephyrus G14, and the like. So you want to maybe look at those. Obviously, the MacBook Pro 14 with the M4 processor will be one of its competitors. So I would definitely look at some of those. This is a very, very good choice here. It's not an upgrade, or a huge upgrade, I should say, over last year. It's incremental, nothing revolutionary here, but it's got the design. It's an awesome looking laptop with some very good performance, and it's an overall great choice. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. If you're a casual viewer of my content, why not hit that subscribe button? It doesn't cost you anything, and it certainly goes to help support the channel. As we're making our big push for 250,000 subscribers, we're just about there. So the goalpost will probably move to 300,000 to the end of the year. We'll talk about that very soon. If you're gonna buy something like the Dell 14 Premium, either the Platinum or the Graphite, check out the links in the description below. Yes, they are affiliate links. No, I do not get a huge commission, a small commission that helps support the channel, helps keep the lights on in the studio, although we're in my backyard by my beautiful pool here, but still helps nonetheless. So until next time, this is Andrew, and I'll see you in the next video.